All right, for today, we're looking at stock transactions. So we saw yesterday kind of like how that transaction looks on the ticker, all of that info. I think Joanne said, oh, that makes much more sense once I explained it, right? Otherwise, it looks kind of like gibberish. But today, we're going to look at, again, some more vocab, and then we're looking at their gains and losses from their stock trades. So we'll look at them as what dollar figure did they gain or lose, and then also as a percentage, what percent did they gain or lose. I like this quote: when somebody buys a stock, it's because they think it's going to go up, and the person who sold it thinks it's going to go down. Somebody will be wrong. Which I thought that was pretty great, because it's true. All right, so a lot of vocab. So stock portfolio, that's a grouping of all the stocks that someone owns. So I'm sure you've heard people reference before that, their stock portfolio or their portfolios, how much they're worth. It's just talking about all the stocks a certain person owns, just putting them all together. Now, guys, throughout this chapter, we've had a lot of vocab. I'm sure you guys have recognized that. You will have vocab on your test on Friday. Your test is Friday, if you did not realize that. Okay? Test, Friday. This Friday. Okay? Got it? All right, so just make sure you're making note of all your definitions because they will all be on the test. We have round lots and odd lots. A round lot is buying and selling stocks in multiples of 100 shares. They call them round lots, right? 100's a nice round number, so they call them round lots, a lot of shares. That is multiples of 100. So want to guess what odd lots are? It's a purchase of less than 100. They call it an odd lot. Yes. Yep. So how many of you guys right now, based on what you've learned, I mean just some basics of the stock market, think that may be something you want to do when you get older? Play the stock market? A couple of you? Right. Could make a lot of money, or you could lose a lot of money. Yeah. Gross capital gain. Now think about, if I told you your gross income, what did that refer to? What you make before taxes. So your gross capital gain and your gross capital loss, that's going to be how much you made or lost, but without the fees taken out, right? Because you have to pay fees for a broker. But so gross capital gain, it's just the difference between your selling price and your purchase price. If you sell a stock for more money than you paid for it, then you're going to have a gain, right? You're going to make money. But it's just the difference between the selling price and the purchase price. So it's not taking into account any of the fees that you had to pay to your broker. Because you pay fees to your broker when you purchase a stock and also when you sell a stock, because you have to use a broker to do that. Like I couldn't just walk up to Kevin and be like, hey, Kevin, you want to buy my stocks? And then just sell them to Kevin. I can't do that. Okay, you need a stockbroker to actually make that transaction happen legally. So then gross capital loss, still the difference between the selling and purchase, but if you sell a stock for less money than you paid for it, you're going to take a loss. And to me, that seems pretty self-explanatory, right? If you make money, it's a gain. If you lost money, it's a loss. So fancy terms, but pretty easy, hopefully for vocab reasons for you to get through those. And then also you must report capital gains and losses to the IRS because each one of them will affect the amount of income taxes that you owe. So if you make money on the stock market, remember the part on your tax forms? It was like stock dividends. You guys remember that? So if you make money on the stock market, you have to pay taxes on that. If you lose money in the stock market, you get a tax break. I think they feel bad for you. Okay, but any gain or loss that you make has to be reported. Otherwise, it'd be tax evasion, tax fraud. What's the term? Tax fraud. Yeah. All right. What? Yeah, because you're lying about something to have to pay less taxes. Yeah. All right. questions here, or anybody still writing? Tyler, are we okay? Good. Okay. All right, so gross capital gain and loss. It's just your selling price minus your purchase price. So we're right up here. And hopefully that makes sense to you, right? Selling price minus the purchase price. We're going to see what that difference is. Did you make or lose money? So find the gross capital gain or loss. If I bought it for $4,567 and I sold it for $6,623, was it a gain or a loss? That's a gain. I made money, right? I sold it for more than I paid for it. All right. So how much did you gain? $2,056. Yeah, so you're always taking the selling price and you subtract the purchase price. So that's where we're getting that number from. All right, so number 2, purchase price, I paid $10,402 and then I sold it for $8,283. That's a loss. All right, so again, you take your selling price and subtract the purchase price. What am I going to get for an answer there? I'm going to get a negative, right? Obviously, if I get a negative, that's a loss. So negative 2,119. Or you could just tell me $2,119 loss. So you can write the word loss, or you can just tell me it's negative. Either way, that allows me to know that it was a loss. See what I mean about, I may go kind of quick through this. You guys with me? Yeah. If I lose you, stop me, okay? But I think you guys can subtract at this point. So number 3, you purchased 200 shares for $20.34 per share, and then you sold all your shares for $18.67 per share. That's going to be a loss. Good. But do I have to do a little more math in this one than the last one? Yeah, because how much did I pay to purchase them? Yes, I'm going to have to multiply that. I bought 200 shares for $20.34. I need to figure out how much I actually purchased. What did I pay to begin with? Yes. All right, so I purchased them for $4,068. All right, that was my purchase. And then I sold all shares, so 200 again, but it was for $18.67. So that one's going to be $37.34. That was how much I sold them for. Good. So I had a loss of $334. Do we see the difference, though, between this example and the last one? Okay, last one just gave me the purchase and sell price. This one, I had to actually figure it out. So number 4, purchase 150 shares for $6.34. Sold 150 shares for $9.46. That's a gain. Good. But same idea. They didn't give me how much I purchased and how much I sold them. So my purchase, I'll just use a P because I'm lazy. 150 times 634. How much did I pay when I bought all those? Good, 951. And then I sold 150 shares for 946. How much did I get when I sold them? Good. So we already established that was a gain of how much? 468. Hard stuff today? So hard today. I mean, really the math in this chapter, is any of the math in this chapter really that bad? Right. Yep, you're right. The math isn't bad, it's just interpreting what's being given to you. That's interpreting. All right, so number 5, the purchase price was $98 per share. The selling price was $102 per share. Is that a gain or a loss? That's a gain. Express the increase in price as a percent of the purchase price. Huh? Do you remember that formula that we talked about? What's that formula? There it was. New minus old divided by old, and then multiply by 100 to make it a percent. That looks like DD, doesn't it? Not old. You multiply by 100. So that's that same formula. I mean, as far as new and olds, I mean, which one would be the new price? The one you're selling for. Yeah. So in order for us to be able to remember this and not have to remember multiple formulas, we can still just use that one. Okay? So, yeah. So what's the new price? Be what you sold it for. So it'd be 102 minus the old price, 98, divided by 98. Did it go up by much? I mean, it only went up $4. So it's going to be a small percent, right? Then we just multiply that by 100. So what percent did it go up by? Go ahead and give me to the nearest hundredth. What? Good, 4.08%. So, I mean, it's a 4% increase. It's better than nothing. It's better than a loss. All right, number 6, purchase price, $12 per share. Selling price, $11 per share. Gain or loss? That's a loss. All right. So what's the new? 11. The old then is 12 divided by 12 times 100. So at any point in this chapter, when I'm asking you for percentages about change in percent and whatnot, I'm always looking for this formula. So it's the same one every time. So what percent did this one drop? 8.33%. Now, how come this one, it only went up by $4 and it was 4%? This one was only a dollar difference, yet it was 8%. It was a lower price. Good. The smaller the numbers, that's a bigger change. Up here, it's not as much, right? Like if you would take a test that's worth only like 5-point test and you miss one problem, that's you just lost 20% of your grade. That's bad. Whereas if I give you a 100-point test and you miss one question, you're down to a 99%. You lost 1%. Okay. So the higher the numbers, the less of a change it's going to make. The smaller the numbers, like just one digit difference makes a huge difference. All right, my numbering system got crazy. This is back to number 1, sorry. That's what happens when I copy and paste from previous things. Several years ago, Marlene purchased stock for $7,241. Last week, she sold the stock for $9,219. What was her gross capital gain? So what do I have to do? Subtract. Why is this different than what we were doing previously? It's in words. Oh my gosh, can we read words? I believe that. Yeah, all I have to do again is just subtract. This one just came at you as a story problem. So how much money did Marlene make? Good. $1,978. Brett used money he received as a gift for high school graduation to purchase $4,000 worth of shares of stock. So see, he got out of this class, was all excited about the stock market, took all the money he made from his graduation party, bought stock. After he graduated from college, he needed money to buy a car. So he sold the stock for $2,433. Was that a gain or a loss? Yeah, that was a loss. Poor guy. So how much did he lose? I can just subtract. I know how much he lost. So he lost $1,567. Poor guy. Should have just took the money right after high school and bought a car. He thought, oh, I know stock market. I'm going to do this. I'm going to double my money. It didn't happen. So what, there was like 5 of you that said you were ready to like maybe do the stocks when you get older? Just be careful. Even professionals are still a estimated guess. They can't control what the market does. 5 years ago, Jessica bought 300 shares of a cosmetics company stock for $34.87 per share. Yesterday, she sold all of the shares for $41 per share. What was her capital gain? So when it's asking again for that gross capital or the capital gain, just how much money did they make or how much money did they lose? So what do I have to do first? What's that? Good. So that was her purchase. So she purchased them for $10,461. And then she sold all 300 shares for $41. Good. So how much money did she make? $1,839 gain. Number 4, Kevin, you showed up again. Why are you in so many of my notes? Kevin bought 125 shares of stock for $68.24 per share. He sold them 9 months later for $85.89 per share. Good job, Kevin. How much did Kevin make? What's his capital gain? Same idea as the last one, right? Kevin purchased them, 125 shares for $68.24. So how much money did Kevin have to buy stuff? Kevin, you got a lot of money, hon. You spent $8,530 on your stocks. Kevin, can I borrow money? Kevin sold all 125 shares for $85.89 per share. So Kevin sold them for $10,736.25. Nice job, Kevin. So how much money did Kevin make? Good. $2,206.25 gain. Two to go? Almost done? Randy paid $3,450 for shares of a corporation that manufactured cell phones. He sold it for $6,100. Gain or loss? Gain. Express his capital gain as a percent of the original purchase price. Round to the nearest tenth of a percent. So this is the new minus old. Yeah, anytime it's asking you to express something as a percent, that's where we're going with this. It's the new minus old. All right, so which one is the new price? What he sold it for, good. So the 6,100. Subtract the new, I'm sorry, the old 3450 divided by 3450 times 100 to make it a percent. And nearest tenth, what was his increase? Whew, 76.8% increase from his investment. That's pretty good. It's a good turnaround. It's better than making like $4, right? And then Allison bought shares of Citigroup Corporation in early 2007 for $55 per share. She sold them later that year for $35 per share. Yeah, that sucks. Express her loss as a percent of the purchase price. Round to the nearest percent. So which one's the new? The 35 minus the old 55 divided by 55 times 100. What percent is it? And notice again, this one said round to the nearest percent. So 36% loss, or you could write negative 36%, either way. All right, I know I went fast, but I think we're okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy stuff today. Yeah, it's easy. On your homework, I bypassed, I missed crossing off 13. You don't have to do 13. So cross that one off also. 17 is a challenge problem. If you can get all of number 17 right, you get bonus. Okay? So I will check tomorrow when I'm checking homework in. I'm going to be checking all your answers on 17 to see if they're right or not. If you don't want to do 17, you don't have to try it. But if you want, try to get some bonus, number 17.